in our week 9 in-class folder is an HTML exercise. Now this is the in-class exercise we're going to be working on. This is not your actual assignment. We're going to cover a lot of basic principles, how things are structured and structure as we go through this, which you will then apply to your actual assignment. Okay? So hopefully there's no confusion. We are doing something different from your actual assignment. It's going to go through. You can read it at your leisure. You'll notice that it gives a fuller meta tag. I just had you do the char set. It goes UTF-8. You can put, this is the actual complete meta tag for it. The HTTP equiv and content happen to be defaults. And that's why I don't require you enter the whole thing. But you can do that if you wish. Okay, what we're going to work on is, won't skip around me, we're going to create this basic web page that we see on the right. The content for it is sitting on the 3rd page. There are some hints here, a reminder of what some of the tags are, but we're going to be creating this very basic web page here. In later exercises, we will put the CSS on it, and we will make it look nicer. Because when we get down here, it's just going to be kind of ugly. So, there's the pictures that we'll be using. The pictures are also inside the images folder. I highly recommend that you follow this structure. You have the folder that your web page is going to be in. You have an images folder inside it that you will put all of your images in. It helps keep things from getting cluttered. We'll have all of our HTML files sitting right here. So for larger websites such as your project website, you may have 4 or 5 HTML files here, and that's perfectly fine. But we'll put images, separate them off. You may find that you want to put your portfolio images separate from your general website images. Well, that's fine. Put them in another folder. The goal here is just to keep it uncluttered. And so make sure you can find stuff. So let's go back to Komodo. We have our very basic web page. I'm going to delete the title, and I'm going to delete the content because we're going to replace all of that. Okay, got that. We have got our content. What I'm going to do is, now I've opened this in Adobe Acrobat. I'm hoping it'll work in the preview. I'm going to copy all this content. I just used the select tool, selected it, and I'm going to paste it directly into my page. And the reason I do that is I don't like to type everything. So if I don't have to type it, I'm not going to. So we could do this in small blocks where we are constantly going back and forth and copying as we go along. We could pull it up and just manually type every line. Multiple ways. I'm just bringing it in bulk, copy and paste it in. All the different methods are valid, and they each have their advantages. The first part here we've got to by architecture. Let's open this up so we can see what our goal is going to be. I want to break down this page just a little bit. It'll speed things up as we go along. To by architecture is the major heading for the page. So it's going to be our H1 tag. Before HTML5, you should have only ever had one header 1. With HTML5, it is valid to have multiple H1 tags but they want them to be separated off into sections. H1 for our major header. Below that, we've got several other, well, we got two other sections here. They are both going to be H2 tags. About Dubai and Burj Khalifa, however you pronounce it, are at the same content level. We're basically creating an outline of the content. Our header levels, H1, H2, H3, tell where the content level, what the content level relationship is. So, an H2 goes under an H1. And H3 goes under an H2. And H3 content should be related to the H2 above it. Okay? So it's a tier. In this case, About Dubai and Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest tower, they are both about Dubai architecture. They're both subordinate to the H1. They're not subordinate to each other, so they should be H2s. Does that make sense? We're creating an outline here. So a common thing is like, well, I have an H1, I got an H2. Oh, I should have an H3. No, not necessarily. Your page may never have an H3. For our menu, we see dots in front of them. We will use a list for it. You're going to find that lists, sorted, ordered, and unordered lists, are incredibly useful structures. And we use them for all kinds of things that I'm not even sure they were originally intended to be used for. But they're great. So we will use an unsorted list. Notice there's no dots in front of them. There's dots in front of them, not numbers or letters. Each one of these is a paragraph. So we're going to mark them with a P tag. Up front, the break tag, BR. Almost any time you would use a BR tag can be fixed with your CSS. Be prepared to defend the use of a BR tag in any of your code in this class. There are places to use it. It is a very valid tag. I do use it. Each one of these is a paragraph, so we'll put a P tag around it. Paragraph, paragraph. Okay, what type of list is this? Sorry?
Ordered.
Ordered list. So we'll do an ordered list. What type of header are we going to use here? Level 2. We have another paragraph. We've got some links in here. What tag do we use for links? You want to remember? Anchor, A tag, correct? Then we're going to have some titles that are going to go along with these. We have images. Let's go to the bottom. And then we have our footer, which is using the paragraph. Okay, so that's the basic outline structure of what we're going to do. So, did everybody copy and paste the content into Komodo? Everybody able to get that? First line here, Dubai architecture. Well, it happens to also be the title of the web page. So, select it and let's throw it into the title. It also happens to be our header. So, what tag should we put on it?
H1.
H1. Now, you're going to notice that when you close a tag, Komodo will automatically create the closing tag for you. Easy thing to do is select it, and then you can just drag and drop it into the correct position. Makes it really fast. Let's go ahead and let's put some breaks in here so we can find some stuff again. I'm going to put a character break up above About Dubai. I'm basically just finding okay. Okay, so I just kind of found where all our paragraph breaks were that we were looking at. It's just going to speed things up so we can sort through it. If you didn't do it, just watch as we go along and we'll get it. Menu. If we look back here at our page, the word menu is not actually in it. So we're going to delete the word menu. We don't need it. Get rid of it. Okay, we're going to use an unordered list. So what's the command? UL. Creates the open and close, drag and drop it, put it at the end. And then each element is, what do we use? Correct. Li. And I'm just going to put it right here after the title. There's information here. We're going to come back and take care of that in just a moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and I'm going to duplicate this down. So it's all identical code. Let's just make it fast and easy. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put those links in. Link to a page called alarab.html. So inside the li, I will go a, href equals, and because I don't like typing, and then make sure that your closing tag goes before the closing li tag. I will finish the menu out and then I'll pause so everybody can make sure they get there and they can see what it looks like. Once you've got the A tags in, you can clean off the end of these lines. You don't need them anymore. And you should have this. I'm also going to do a little beautification. What I'm going to do is I just select all my text, hit tab, select my text, hit tab, and now it's easier to follow. I'm a big fan of indentation, and you will see that as we go along, I will slowly correct my indentation and make it so that it's easy to follow. My goal is that I should be able to look at it visually and have an idea of how the page is structured. So all this is within the body, so it's indented 1. My H1 tag is indented. My UL is right below it because it's at the same level. But my LIs are within the UL tag, so I indented them. As I go along, I will continue popping them out. Let's save it. Let's go to Firefox and refresh. Notice how all the code that we have not marked up is just one big block. This is what our commands are doing, is breaking this up and giving it formatting, giving it meaning. Remember, HTML is about semantics. It's about giving meaning to the content or describing the meaning. The content already has meaning. Back to Komodo. About to buy. So I'm going to put an H2 tag on it. These next two here are paragraphs. What tag do we use? P tag. Now, something that can be useful is to turn on, I'm going to hit this, I missed a return. Under View is one called Word Wrap, and it will wrap your long lines so you can see the entire content, and then you don't have to scroll out to the end of it. So I'm going to put my paragraph tags on my blocks. If you leave it as long lines, you just simply have to jump clear to the end of the line and put the paragraph tag on it. This is another paragraph. So it doesn't get too helpful. Okay. Our next piece here, thank you. L. Block this, move it in. And what do we put around all of our list elements? Li. And we'll go ahead and we'll save this at this point, and we're going to check ourselves. So I'll switch back to Firefox. And anyone see a problem? Yeah, it's already an ordered list, so it's going to supply the numbers. So we need to make sure that we remove them from our text. Save it again, switch back, refresh, and it fixes it. Do a quick check since we were just verifying. Still valid. Go back to Komodo. Okay, Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest tower. What tag did we say this was going to get? H2. Okay. And this one is going to be a mess, but we'll work on it. We have a paragraph. And you'll notice that we've got a lot of information about link tos. So we're going to go ahead and do the links. World's finest shopping is our A tag. Now sometimes what I will do is when I'm typing them in, you notice I didn't actually, since I just put a blank href tag in here. And that's because I have the actual, what I'm going to link it to, sitting below it. And then I could type the whole line in, get it in, and then move it into place.
the word shopping is going to be in the H, right?
Yes. The next one, dining, will be what's being surrounded by it. It's messy. And I'm using cut and paste to make this easier. So you should end up with something like this. Save it, I'm going to check it. Yeah, I'll find that out here in a moment. When I switch over to the HTML, and we take a look at it, you're going to notice we have shopping, space, comma. Okay, I'm going to show you what caused that. If we look in here in our code, we have the finest, shopping, carriage return, space, comma. We need to collapse that together. In fact, we probably should go ahead and just collapse all these lines and make it truly one paragraph that's easy to follow and keep our spaces. A carriage return, a line break, will display as a space in your HTML. Save it. It now is one paragraph. If we refresh, and we've got it looking correctly down in that paragraph.
Can you go back to the
Absolutely. If we look at the link we did in the menu, notice we do not have HTTP:. We just simply put the name of the file. We're doing that because this file would exist right next to our index.html. They'd be sitting next to each other. So the browser knows how to find it. When we get to these, notice we have http:// and we have the entire address. http:// tells the browser what protocol. And then we have the address for the website. And then we have the entire path to get to the file and the name of the file that we're opening. This is necessary whenever we are linking to files or web pages that exist on other sites. This is called an absolute path. For relative paths, we're talking about local to where we are, and we can find it on the same machine relative to where we are located. Absolute paths are used to access web pages or content that are in other locations. Let me scroll that up a little bit. What we're going to do on these next ones is I'm going to have you just simply wrap these in paragraph tags. No, we won't. Okay. No, we'll go ahead. I'll do it this way. Just use the break. Next time when we touch this file, I will show you how to get rid of this break tag. We will change this, and the break tag will go goodbye. So we will switch these lines up a little bit as we prepare them for CSS and that, and we will get rid of the break tag because it is not necessary, but we'll use it for now. Okay. Get caught up a little bit. And when we check our HTML, this is what it should look like. I'll switch back.
Validate the local HTML, and I got like 14 errors, but it looks just like yours.
We're going to go ahead and we'll move along here to the Burj Khalifa image. I'm going to replace this, and I'm going to use an image tag. You remember what the image tag is?
Image source. IMG.
IMG. Source equals. Now, I'm going to just put a blank source right now. We'll type it in just a moment. What else is required? Alt. The alt tag is required. Now, I'm just going to take this line, which is empty right now, and I'm going to replace where it says image with this, and then we're going to go through each one and fill them in. Okay, so I've got placeholders. Basically, that's all I'm doing is I'm just building placeholders. And then for the alt tag, I'm just going to use what's going to be in the caption. So I'm just going to copy it. Anyone know what the purpose of the alt tag is? The alt. No? It's not for CSS. It is used a couple different places. If the image doesn't load, it will use the alt tag as a placeholder. So the alt tag is a really short description. It's also used by non-visual readers, such as screen readers for the visually impaired. They can't see the picture. So the screen reader reads the alt tag. Now there are some other tags that you can use and you can have a full description, but at minimum you have to have the alt tag and it provides a description. It's a short, succinct description of what the picture is. It is required. If you have an image on a page and it is purely decoration, the alt tag is still required. Just leave it blank. And at least you've got it there. The screen readers will look at it, oh, there's nothing there, and they move on. So if you're doing some visual elements that have no meaning, just leave the alt tag blank. Okay, moving up to the top one, Burj Khalifa. This is where we're going to need to make sure we have our names correct. So I'm going to put Finder so I can see them over on the side, because if I would do it from memory, I probably would get them wrong. Our index.html file is sitting at the same level as the images folder, remember? When we looked at it in Finder? So the first thing we have to do is we have to tell the web browser, go into the images folder, then slash, and we'll repeat this all the way down. And we'll save it. And if we did it right, when we switch back, it should load and have all our images. Date, we will put in today's date, which is March. What is today's date? 13th. And the next thing is to be a link to our name. So you will personalize this for yourself. And notice that for the mail link, it's mail to : and then your email address. We'll save it. Refresh. And we've got the information at the bottom. Validate it. Excellent. Validates. And then we will switch back and we will verify that what we've got looks like the example. Well, I have a slight difference. I did the date difference, but it looks like the sample. I'll switch back to the HTML here. At that point, we have our basic web page. Next time, we will make some adjustments, and we will start putting CSS in it.